I don't have mentors. What I do have, I have something called maps and mirrors.
Okay.
So I have several, by the way. I have 3 maps at the moment and 4 mirrors. So here's how it works.
Okay.
The maps are the people that tell me, the maps are the people that have been where I'm trying to go.
Okay.
And they're going to help me navigate to get there. So it's never one person. So in terms of my business career, I have very particular, 3 very particular people who are maps in my life. And when I face problems, I go to them and I go, I'm facing this problem, I don't know what to do. And they will have experience and they will relate that experience to me. So many people, some people in the conversation might know this, but when I started my firm, I went to Umkolu, Dr. Richard Maponya, and I asked him to become the patron of my firm.
Okay.
And at the same time, he became a map for me. And he was incredible until he passed this year, because he'd been to places I'm yet to discover. And so I would be able to ask him questions and he would give me advice, help me navigate. And then mirrors are people that reflect me to me. See, you and I as human beings have blind spots. There's certain things we do which are bad and we don't know it. There's certain behaviors we've learned which don't serve us and we don't know it. So you've learned to cheat people out of money because when you were growing up, that's how people where you grew up made money. You've learned that being dishonest is the only way to create wealth. You might have learned that you have to overpromise people just to get business. All of these are things that you learn. And sometimes you learn them not aware that you're learning them. And so mirrors are people who put up a mirror and they just reflect you to you. And they go, do you see what you're doing? Do you see how your behavior repeats itself? Do you see how that behavior doesn't serve you? Do you see how your habits don't serve you? And my mirrors have been very important to me. They've helped me navigate my life as I've had to make some very difficult decisions.
Okay.
I don't wear my scars on my face.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I don't get scarred. So it doesn't mean I don't make mistakes, but I don't dwell on the mistake. I think we are our own biggest critics. We are our own biggest pull him down syndromes because we constantly have this negative conversation happening in our minds. Abantu bazothini, mhlambe I should have done it another way. Mhlambe I should not have done it at all. And we constantly badger ourselves in our minds, and it's completely unnecessary. So one of the things I learned actually from my rabbi, who is one of my mirrors, he said to me, he was like, look, if God wanted us to be perfect, he wouldn't have given us free will. Listen to this, because I learned this and my life changed. Listen to this. So my rabbi says to me, he says, if God wanted you to be perfect, he wouldn't have given you free will, because free will allows you to choose, and choice builds imperfection. You have to choose between light and dark, good and evil, happy and sad. If God wanted us perfect, he wouldn't have given us free will. He wouldn't have given us choice. So the fact that God gave us free will and gave us the power of choice, the fact that God made us the most intelligent creature on the earth and gave us intellect and wisdom and knowledge, all of those were built-in mechanisms so that we would make the better choice. But, and this is the most important, ngesiZulu ibizwa unembeza. The reason God gave you intuition, feeling, guilt, the reason God gave you that voice inside, it's in your chest, that when you're about to do something wrong, that voice goes, don't do this, right? All of those were like risk mitigation mechanisms by God, but you still have free will. So if we are not going to be perfect, then what's the point of crying over our imperfections? God knew you wouldn't be perfect. The quest for life is not about whether or not we can be perfect. The quest for life is about whether or not we can live a life of meaning. It's about whether or not we can leave an imprint. It's about whether or not we can make a difference. That's more important than whether or not you are perfect. I always say to people, every single human being is a genius. We all have a level of genius that we haven't discovered yet. Many people haven't discovered it. And the reason many people haven't discovered it is because many people don't know who they are. So if I asked you the question, who are you? Most people answer that question with who the world told them they are.
Yeah, true.
I am so-and-so, I went to so-and-so, I grew up with so-and-so, I studied so-and-so, I do such and such. That's not who you are. Because all of the things the world gave you, the world can take away. You and I are on this planet called Earth.
Yes.
For a specific mission. Your creator, whether you believe in God, Allah, Buddha, or any of the other deities, your creator sent you to this earth on a particular assignment. The assignment is why you're here. And if on your way to your assignment, you're going to meet people and leave people, that's okay.
Yes.
But you're not here for people. You're here for the assignment.
Yes.
It's in Gignigasum Sagel.
Okay.
So I'm in Joburg, right?
Yeah.
And say I'm on my way to Cape Town. And I drive out of my estate and I'm on my way and I see you hiking and I go, yo, where you going? And you say, I'm going to Bloemfontein. And I put you in the car. Right? Or you go, I'm going to Kuruman and I put you in the car. Or you go, I'm going to Sierras and I put you in the car. I'm putting you in the car because on my way to Cape Town, I'm going to go past those places, but I'm not going to those places. So when we get there and you jump off, it's not personal. That's where you were going. It's not where I'm going. That's my relationship with people. It's just like we meet when we meet, we do what we do. It's cool. And then when life happens and you need to do your thing, hey man, peace and love.
Yes.
So let's imagine you and I were in a romantic relationship. If I do something wrong, then of course I'm going to try and fix it because I broke it. But let's imagine you and I are friends. And the only thing I did wrong was I grew up. I went to school. I started reading. I kept different company. I had some ambitions. I wanted to travel the world. I got some exposure. I broke nothing. You just stayed where you were. I went somewhere else. And if I broke nothing, then what am I trying to fix?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does so much.
A lot of us hang on to relationships because we're trying to hang on to the time we were in when we were in that relationship. So you were in a particular relationship and you were happy or you were fulfilled or you were laughing and you mistake the emotion of the relationship with the meaning of that relationship. Women do this the most. You meet your Vusi, we start dating, I make you feel amazing. And then when things go wrong, you excuse me because of how I made you feel. No, it's made you feel. I don't make you feel like that anymore. And it's okay. It's okay to go, it was great, but sharp. Next. You know? I call it full stop, new paragraph. Just put a full stop in that chapter of your life. Start a new paragraph. Start again, start afresh. Capital letters. Start again. And sometimes it's a true story that sometimes the best thing you can do is to leave people the way they are. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to leave people the way they are. See, so many of us are trying to fix people that aren't broken, that we are confused. So you have a family member, a mother, an uncle, an aunt, that's been in your life your whole life. And then you grow and your level of maturity surpasses them. That's why there's that beautiful Hebrew saying that says, first, we are our parents' children, then our parents become our children.
Our children, yes.
It literally means that as you grow and you mature, your elders will dwarf by your level of maturity because you are growing and you're maturing, right?
Yes.
And so you get, and then you're trying to take these people with you. Just leave them where they are. They are happy where they are. And if you take them somewhere, all you'll do is you'll just make them unhappy. You don't want to do that. We live under this illusion of the perpetual relationship that lasts forever. There's no such thing. all relationships end because who you are ends and you become someone new.
Yes.
So often what causes people breaking up is because you met me, or say I meet you, and at the time, think about who you were 10 years ago. Now imagine I met you then. Very different to who you are now, right? Exactly. Which means even if you and I were still together, I'm not with you that I met. I'm with the you that you are now. And in 10 years' time, I'm going to be with the you that you become in 10 years' time. So all relationships end. The question we must ask ourselves is, who do we become at the instance at which the relationship ends? And sometimes we become the person that that relationship needs us to be. And then a new relationship is created. Sometimes
Within the relationship.
within the construct of how you're relating. But that's why for me, I got to tell you, my relationship models are Oprah and Stedman. I love those two.
Okay.
Because he has money, she has money. He has her place, his place, she has her place. Those guys have to choose each other every day. Every day.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people are in this thing called a relationship? And you know, it's like,
Yes.
you know, first, if you are going to submit, don't submit to a person, submit to a destination.
Okay, yes.
And I think that's the mistake a lot of people make. So if you and I are in a relationship, if you're going to submit to anything, it has to be submitting to where we are going. Because if remember we started the conversation about saying what's your assignment, right?
Yes.
So if we're clear on what our assignment is, and I'm clear on what my assignment is, and you're going, I'm with you, then we can both submit ourselves to the assignment. This submit thing in my mind has been taken completely out of context. Now you're submitting yourself, you know, to a guy who's picking shelves for Mr. Price. You don't understand when's halal. I'm like, what am I submitting to? Just like, you know, and it's not, I'm not being classist. I'm just like, how do you, there are men out there who are asking women to submit, but there's nothing to submit to.
Yes.
He just wants you to submit so that he can be in control. That's not submission, that's slavery. Come on. Hey, that's not submission, that's slavery. You just want to control me. That's not submission, that's slavery. Right? Submission is going, where are we going? And if I submit, what it means is I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure we get to where we are going. But by the way, we, and that's what I was going to say, you can't submit to Edwa. Right? So first, if you're a believer, as I am, you submit to your creator and to the assignment you've been given. And then collectively submit both of you to that assignment and to saying, we're going to do whatever it takes to get to the assignment. That's submission. You can leave me with that bullshit. Call me tomorrow, mark me absent.